Far in the southern lands, surrounded by rivers and mystery, there lay an ancient forest called Chiribon. The wind whispered secrets through its tall trees, and streams sang lullabies to the earth. It was a forest teeming with life, but peace was elusive. For two legendary figures, opposites in every sense, vied silently for dominance. One was Rudra the lion, noble and wise, ruler of the jungle. The other, Chaturanan the fox, clever, silver-tongued, and ever smiling, with eyes that glinted with trickery. Rudra's roar echoed like thunder, commanding both respect and fear. He was a guardian more than a king. Chaturanan, on the other hand, was a whisper in the shadows, promising change, spinning dreams, and plotting schemes. The roots of their rivalry ran deep. Years ago, the jungle had no single ruler. It was governed by factions, and once, the foxes had seized control. Under Chaturanan's leadership, the foxes hoarded food, deceived the weak, and disrupted the balance of the forest. It was Rudra, then a young lion, who rose in resistance. He united the animals under a single vision of fairness and peace. After a long struggle, Chaturanan was driven away. But he never forgot the humiliation. In exile, he waited and plotted. Years passed. Under Rudra's leadership, Chiribon flourished. Justice was served with compassion, and every creature had a voice. But not all were content. In every corner of paradise, dissatisfaction quietly grows. Chaturanan returned, no longer with force, but with honeyed words. He spoke of change, of freedom, of breaking the chains of authority. The lion rules by power, he whispered to the deer, the monkeys, the boars. But your voice matters too. Why must we live in fear of one row? His words were seeds. And in time, doubt began to sprout in the hearts of the animals. Chaturanan formed a secret council, the Shadow Assembly. It included discontented monkeys, cunning tigers, greedy pigs, and naive deer. We want democracy, they cried. Let the forest be ruled by all. But behind their chants lay a different truth. Chaturanan didn't want freedom. He wanted control. Rudra sensed the unrest, but instead of suppression, he chose a path of dialogue. He summoned Chaturanan and said, "Let there be a public debate. Let truth and wisdom speak, not claws and teeth." A grand clearing in the forest was transformed into a stage. Animals of all kinds gathered. Birds sat on branches, reptiles curled in the grass, and insects buzzed in silence. Chaturanan stepped forward, elegant and charming. For too long, he said, we have lived under the rule of one. But isn't the jungle ours too? Why must a lion decide everything? Let us all be kings of our fate. Cheers erupted. Then Rudra spoke, his voice calm, like the river after rain. Freedom without responsibility leads to ruin. I do not rule to dominate, I lead to protect. The fox may speak your language, but remember, deceit often wears a familiar smile. Many were moved, but others still swayed with the wind of change. Realizing he was losing in logic, Chaturanan turned to slander. He whispered, Rudra has hoarded food in his cave. He pretends to be noble, but he starves you. The monkeys, stirred by the lies, sent the birds to investigate. But the birds found nothing. An old owl, wise and quiet, declared, an accusation without proof is not justice, it is deception. And deception is the fox's truest craft. The forest stirred with doubt. Whom to trust? The visionary lion or the silver-tongued fox? To settle the unrest, Rudra proposed one final challenge, a game of wisdom. Both the lion and the fox would propose 5 plans for the betterment of the jungle, along with practical steps to implement them. Chaturanan, ever the showman, promised grandeur. I will build air ladders for the monkeys, he said. There will be free food stalls, houses for all, rivers of honey. Rudra, in contrast, laid out 5 simple but effective proposals. Clean water reservoirs, a communal food storage system, tree-based schools for all creatures, security patrols to protect the weak, a message tree where animals could hang written notes with their opinions daily. The crowd fell silent. One offered dreams, the other, a plan. And slowly, the tide began to turn. Chaturanan, sensing his end, resorted to sabotage. That night, he set fire to the food storage hut and blamed it on Rudra. But a tiny squirrel, awake and curious, had seen it all. She cried out in front of the entire jungle the next day. It was the fox. I saw him. He burned the food. The forest was furious. Chaturanan was seized. But Rudra, true to his principles, did not punish with vengeance. Instead, he said, in my jungle, there will be no revenge. Let truth itself be his sentence. Let him be exiled, not as a prisoner, but as a fallen deceiver. And so, the fox was cast out. This time, for good. Years passed, the message tree became the jungle's heart. Animals wrote their thoughts, shared their needs, and felt heard. Rudra stepped back from the throne. He became a mentor, a guardian of wisdom. He often said, power is not the ability to rule others, but the ability to rule oneself. A true leader serves, not commands. This is not just a tale of a lion and a fox. It is a reflection of our world. A mirror of our society, where cunning often wears the mask of hope, and wisdom speaks quietly, patiently. Every day, we stand at the crossroads between sweet lies and bitter truths. The fox's cunning tempts us. The lion's wisdom anchors us. So remember, cunning may show you a path in the dark, but only wisdom will lead you to the light.